Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to speak on the bill. Members of the Senate, I want to try to right this ship. Our ship's been twisting and turning the last few weeks, and especially today, our ship lost its rudder over this very issue. First of all, sadly, I think our budget negotiations have dwarfed into the final minutes of a yard sale. With all due respect to everyone in this body, the promises and the threats during the budget process over this one issue is mind-boggling, and it's got to stop. I've never seen it so bad. I've never seen it so bad during the budget process of how we work and how we fund things. It's got to stop. I've been asked, well, Senator, you're the vice chairman, why don't you do something? Well, corporate South Carolina, let me give you some advice. If you're offered the vice presidency or a 10 cents an hour raise, take the 10 cents. That's what vice chairman is, and pretty much vice president. Now, you may ask, well, what does all this budget negotiations have to do with this subject? Let's go to the motion period Thursday before last. During the motion period, and the presiding officer has every right and every prerogative to recognize whomever he wants. But by custom, and most times, the majority leader is recognized to make a motion in the motion period. That day, the presiding officer did not recognize me. He recognized the senator from Florence. To snatch, mind you, this College of Charleston expansion bill. You heard my concern about it. You heard the then pro tem's concern and chairman of education about it. He was not consulted. And contrary to what we heard today, that was not done before. The pro tem, senator from Richland, did not move to recall a bill from finance in the past. Another senator did, and I'm told that senator had a conversation with the chairman before he did that. But that wasn't done during the motion period that day. For our president of the Senate, the lieutenant governor, and the incoming president of the College of Charleston, that action, by definition, was a conflict of interest. Even after Senator Corson asked that not happen, the Senate voted to recall the College of Charleston bill out of Education Committee, although the chairman of the subcommittee was prepared to make a report, I understand, sent from Lexington, to the full committee the very next day. But no, this body felt like this bill was so important it needed to be on the fast track. Why? That's the question I have, is why? Why does this bill need to be placed on a fast track and snatch it from the Education Committee the way it was done in the motion period? I expressed my concern. I said then, and I say now, and I'm telling you, I'm not necessarily opposed to the bill. the expansion of the College of Charleston. My question is, why all the backroom deals? Why all the darkness? Why no debate? There's something in there that's just not right, members of the Senate. We've got to right this ship. We've got to right this ship. Now, I was accused in the press, and I mentioned to this senator from Berkeley today. It's funny how we can be on opposite sides one day and the same side the next. They say that makes good lawyers. Lawyers can battle it out in the jury and then go have a steak at night. I can't do that. I wish I could. It's just not in me. It's not in my makeup. Like I've told you, I'm high-strung, I'm emotional, I can't help it. But I am, and I wear it like a badge of honor. I don't have a war on Charleston. I've never had a war on Charleston. I have fun with the senators from Charleston and talking to them about poor, pitiful Charleston. But let's just play like, members of the Senate, there is a war on Charleston. Let me give you a report of how the war is going. A bill, our budget, that I just voted in favor of, unless it's been amended some way, in some other way, here's how the war on Charleston is going. The Senate funded the Citadel, $929,071. The Senate funded the University of Charleston, $799,847. MUSC, $3,400,000. AHEC, $200,000. Trident Technical College, $5 million. Trident Technical College, $423,768. DNR, Fort Johnson Boat Slip Dredging, $175,000. Sea Grant Consortium, $197,900. Southeastern Wildlife Expo, $200,000. African American History Museum, $1 million. Congressional Medal of Honor Bowl, $100,000. Medal of Honor Museum, $1 million. Then on another list, what was funded above the line, the African American History Museum was funded an additional $6 million. Citadel Engineering Lab, $500,000. Trident Technical College Aerospace, $5 million wasn't enough. We doubled down on it. We gave them another $5 million for a total of $10 million. Law enforcement, community support in high crime areas, City of North Charleston. Senator from Charleston, if you remember that day, I told you I was supporting you on this. $275,000. College of Charleston surplus acquisition, $2 million. For a total of $27,200,586 in the budget. For Charleston. I voted for that. Senator from Berkeley, if it was a war on Charleston, I wouldn't have. My question is, why the action on Thursday before last? I asked somebody, a senator told me that Glenn needs a win. I said, Glenn needs a what? Glenn needs a win. A $300,000 a year job and a house in downtown Charleston and all the perks of a presidency of a major university, Charlie Sheen ain't winning that much. But he needs a win? What kind of win? What's in this? Why the threats? If you don't do this, we won't pass your read to succeed, is what I was told. It's not my read to succeed. It's struggling third graders that can't read. That's who's getting the threats. It's the future of this state. That's who's getting the threats. We labored and talked and discussed and came to a bipartisan agreement on Read to Succeed and 4-year-old kindergartens, Senator from Lexington. But to threaten that bill in the House of Representatives because they say if I don't support the College of Charleston expansion, they will kill that bill. Why the threat? I don't take threats lightly. If they have to kill that bill, that's up to them. I don't think they can stand it. I hope they come to their senses. My question is, and it's still my question, what's the rush? The chairman of education had already said that he was more than willing and wanted to have hearings over the summer. I would almost bet you how I have come to know the senator from Richland, he would probably be the main sponsor of it, the main supporter of it come January, once we find out what's in the bill. What is in the bill? Nobody knows. The pro tem, well, Senator Corson asked, and each of you have this on your desk, it's remarks from Richard C. Sutton, Executive Director, Commission on Higher Education. Look on the second page, 4th paragraph. But at the end of the day, we don't know what this legislation will create, how it will be governed, or how much it will cost. And we still don't. And if you concur with the House amendments in this bill, you won't. You won't have an opportunity. Now, what's being asked of you today? My friends in the minority party, I know you've heard this and you don't want to hear it. It brings back Obamacare. It brings back what Nancy Pelosi said. She said, we're going to need to pass it before we can find out what's in it. Is that what we're up against today? Do we need to pass this College of Charleston expansion before we find out what's in it? Is that where we are? Now, what they've done, they've taken a Senate bill dealing with the Enterprise Act with a strike and insert, with a watered-down version of what the Senate passed, and put the College of Charleston expansion on it. Now, that's what we're dealing with right now. My ask of you is to do the right thing, especially after what happened today. For the lieutenant governor to hold over the pro tem's head with the threat of resigning as lieutenant governor if he didn't toe the line on the College of Charleston expansion, that he would resign and make our pro tem have to take lieutenant governor and resign his Senate seat? What in the world can be that important for somebody to play that kind of tricks? When we hung that portrait, I praised that man. We were both elected to the Senate at the same time. But the actions of the last 2 weeks, I won't feel the same. I won't feel the same. What on earth is in this College of Charleston expansion bill that you don't want us to see? My ask today is that we non-concur, send this bill to conference, give us 2 weeks, let the system work, give us 2 weeks, and see if we can find out just what this means. Maybe we can get the answer that the chairman of the Higher Education Commission, Commission on Higher Education, maybe we can get to the end of the day. Where would we know what this legislation creates? Maybe we'll know how it's governed. Or maybe we'll know how much it costs. There's no fiscal impact. Members of the Senate, some powerful people has been behind this. Threats have been made. Promises have been made. Parliamentary maneuverings have been made. A lot has happened. All I'm asking is to tell us what's in this College of Charleston expansion bill that's worth all that we have endured as a body. I'm asking you to non-concur in the House amendments.
Senator